My foundation is biblical principles. I just showed up the way that the Lord showed me to show up. I take a look at reverse engineering where somebody wants to go and being able to give them the right framework, the blueprints. The biggest thing for me really is yielding to my own authenticity and my own blueprint without apologizing.
The next wave of business leaders won't just use AI, they'll master momentum with it, starting now. Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where visionary founders and driven business leaders turn artificial intelligence, automation, and scalable systems into real growth, real scale, and real freedom. If you're ready to break bottlenecks, reclaim your title, and scale smarter, this is your playbook. Let's dive in. Here are your hosts, Aly Porter and Elise Smith.
Welcome to the Mastering AI Momentum Show, where today's top entrepreneurs share how they're scaling smarter, evolving faster, and navigating the future of business with or without AI. I'm Elise Smith, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Aly Porter. And today we're joined by Tanya Tenica, known as the Activator. She's a best-selling author, top business strategist, and founder of the School of Activation. With over 20 years of experience, Tanya has helped thousands of entrepreneurs scale to 8 figures by blending bold business strategy with biblical principles. She's also a TV host and part owner of multiple companies, including a media network and CRM software. So Tanya, we're so excited to have you. We've known you for a little while, so this is just amazing to have you on the show.
It's like a girl chat.
I know. It'll be super chill, but at the same time have so much value, which we're super excited about. So
Yeah, I love it.
Before we dive in and get into all the nitty gritty, we would love to hear your version and how you would describe what you do and who you serve, just in a brief synopsis, so people kind of know a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, there's always that loaded question, right? I'm definitely an entrepreneur at heart. I have multiple companies, some that I co-own, some that I have shares in, and that's grown over all the years. My foundation is biblical principles, so I take a look at reverse engineering where somebody wants to go and being able to give them the right framework, the blueprints. And that's customized towards them, right? I'm always big on saying, don't wear Saul's armor, which could be your coach's armor and anything else, right? And so recently I have been led to kind of switch a little bit where I'm focusing on the female entrepreneurs and helping them understand their feminine aspect and how to build according to that feminine, as well as their hormonal cycles and a blueprint that is specifically not masculine, but feminine for them. So I deal with a lot of these women that are very successful, but they're burnt out at this point in time. And statistically, it has shown that 85% are believers. And it just baffled me when I realized we have the Lord. Why are we so burnt out? And I realized a lot of it was due to heavily masculine frameworks in leadership and in business. And so I've taken all those over 20 years of ministry and business and now focused on equipping these high performing women so they can really get back to their own blueprint. And that's kind of that shift, but still authoring, speaking, teaching, just a different accessibility, doing more retreats and high touch. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that, because that I'm sure that really helped you to shape what you're doing now, like all the things you did up until this point. And it really did help you launch this current business that you're in right now, which is awesome. That is so cool. We'll get more into it as well. I just wanted to kind of give people a background as to what you do, so that they can know a little bit more about you. So what were some of those early challenges that you had to push through in your current business now, and or in the past? Like, what are some things that you had to overcome in order to get where you are right now?
Do we have enough time for all that? No, but
a brief version, but yes.
I'm like, which one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to have to say it was the Saul's armor part. And what I mean by that is when you find mentors, when you find individuals that can coach you in areas, they tend to put their own thing on you. And I could be with someone and I'm like, yeah, but this doesn't feel right. Well, just stay consistent with it. Okay, but it's been 6 months and I don't know what it is. So I would self-sabotage. I would build and self-sabotage because I am multi-gifted, multi-anointed, and I straddle both ministry and business. So that was really difficult. It's like, do you sell your services, or, are you prostituting the Bible? Like, it was a lot of the mindset of that, because most leaders in the church do not know how to support, raise up, or push out entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And so they have the kingly and the priestly anointing. And so that was the mindset of that, being a believer, number one. Number two, other people's frameworks. I went against my own nature. But when I started doing my own thing, and I was like, you know what? I just feel really led to just push record for 30, 40 minutes, or if it was an hour, worship and pray and just teach, and whatever comes out that the Lord showed me. And I would close on a video, sometimes 10 to 15,000, because people didn't care. I had no appointments, this whole do an appointment, but it didn't work for me. I didn't want to sit there and do these calls and try to do sales. And I didn't have to. I was selling right on video or podcasts, or because they just saw and tested my spirit there. So that was a big breakthrough, is to just say, I don't care what algorithms, I don't care what's fancy and going on right now. I'm going to do what is working for me, that keeps me in a place of peace and joy. And when I tell you, I would close like this. From there all the way to then Clubhouse, making over 70,000 within less than 6 months. How did I do it? I just showed up the way that the Lord showed me to show up, which was do the audio. And so that was the biggest thing for me, really, is yielding to my own authenticity and my own blueprint without apologizing.
I love that. I love that. And I love the fact that that was kind of it was like your turning point. It was like that pivotal moment where you were just like, you know what? I just need to do it in this way that's in alignment with me. And sometimes, a lot of times, entrepreneurs are looking to their left, they're looking to their right, and they're looking at what everybody else is doing. And they're like, oh, I must need to do that because that's what everybody else is doing. Right. But I love how you didn't allow that to stop you. And you were just like, I'm going to do what God's telling me to do, and I love that. I love how you overcame those challenges and then decided, like, this is the path I'm on. So I love that. Oh my gosh, so good. I'm sure Elise will tie in a little bit more of that too. But now let's move into how you actually scaled into this business today. So take it away, Elise.
So now that the foundation's in place and we kind of have been able to hear a little bit more of your personal story, which is amazing. And guys, you have to connect with Tanya. She is incredible. But you've been able to grow your business to an amazing scale. So what were the moves that really accelerated your growth that you took?
Let's see, stepping into my own divine blueprint, right? My own authenticity, not being afraid to be seen. I think a lot of times we do just enough, but it's because we're not willing to be seen. There's still like this, I don't know, or hesitancy. So I had to start doing the work. What really helped me scale was understanding my feminine, understanding the power of it, understanding how to operate from a place of rest, and yielding to my own rhythm. Okay, that meant my menstrual cycle, which I don't have anymore, but you still have a rhythm and a cycle hormonally, right? Understanding as well, lowering those cortisol levels, okay? Making sure that I did things from my nervous system, because what would happen is when women in my family were successful, they would end up in divorce. And that was my thought. And here's why, because they made money, I would make just enough, go to 5 figures, then come down. Go to 6 and come down. Go multiple, then come down. It was just like, and I was self-sabotaging all the time, but it was my nervous system didn't feel that it was safe to scale. That was huge, because what happens is your energy, like you literally attract that. You're almost pushing the very thing that you're wanting away, right? That's the word of God says, the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Well, you're double-minded because one of you, the part of you is like, I'm going to do these affirmations. And then in your body, you're like, yeah, right, say whatever you want, but I don't believe a thing, so you ain't getting it, right? So I had to learn that part. That scaled me, because then it was like I could be at the pool, I could be whatever, and I just rested. and I would come back. And I had this thing where money is easy. It gets to be easy. The yoke is easy, the burden's light. And I'd wake up to money. I would go spend time with my family and I would see money. And I was like, oh, this is easy. So I had to normalize. That's what I'm saying. I had to normalize making money and scaling. Then I had to normalize the quality of clients that I had. Oh no, because I know what I have and I know what I give and I know what I scale with systems and everything. Perfect. So those are the ones I attract. Then I had to have the systems. Guys, listen to this. I'm telling you. Then I had to have the systems, meaning the softwares that created one whole system to communicate together, to actually be able to take some of the manual work away so I could focus on the things that the human intelligence, that AI could not, or automations could not. Because a lot of people think that automations, they hate AI. But sweet love, you've been doing AI before ChatGPT came into existence, okay? You've been doing calendars and automation, so you've already been doing it. And then I yielded to what's happening in the industry, but I also went forward thinking and said, where is it going? So I could go ahead of that. So I don't go off of trends or algorithms. I go off of what is the stable foundational line that will always grow. Well, podcasting is growing at an all-time and it's been consistent. Education, consistent. Okay, well, how are people receiving it? People do not like the courses and the master courses just like it used to be. So I've changed the way I approach things and I added simple things like no more Zoom calls for my students. I do Voxer. I'm giving y'all some stuff. I do Voxer and they go from 9 to 5. They get to ask questions. Well, sometimes I don't hear from them for 2 weeks because they don't need anything. So I can handle lots of different things. That's some of the things that helped me scale. Is if I could automate it or delegate it or do something like that and grow a team of even humans, then I did both. And I stayed in where I needed to. So I only stayed long enough in that flow to master it, understand it, and then be able to delegate it. Right? So I removed any emotional attachment. It's just an assignment. And I was willing to give it away if I needed to and move on. You guys know a lot about that. Just moving on when you need to move on and not being emotionally attached. It's a blessing. Yeah. So these are some of the things that helped me scale, but they're not sexy. It's not what everybody wants to hear. Like mindset, nervous system, this regulate. Yeah, it's not sexy. Health and fitness and all of these things. But it's the key. It's the key. So.
Yeah. And I love that you start with yourself first, right? Like a good CEO, they're taking care of themselves on a regular basis in so many ways, right? It's on the physical side and the health side. It's also in the mindset, because I think there's a quote, and I can't remember who said it, but your bank account only grows as far as your mind does, right? And that's the same with your team. That's the same with what you're building in your business. So, anybody who's watching or listening to this, like, think about how are you doing taking care of yourself first before you're pouring into your teams, before you're finding the systems, because all of that has to be that foundation before the scale can come, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then once that scale came, which is where people listen, guys, I made my first, I'm going to say I was roughly making about $15K a month, and I didn't have a website. I didn't have a payment system. I literally was doing my coaching, my calls, and my payments through Facebook Messenger. Okay. I'm telling you, I even had my little calendars, Facebook Messenger. They would just pay, right? Facebook Messenger. I'm telling you, I really didn't make anything fancy. All right. Then I scaled. So a lot of people think that they're scaling and they're still in building phase. And they're thinking that they're scaling. You're not scaling. It has to be where it's consistent, it's revenue, it's been proven, you have it, the system is there, and now all you do is turn the level up. That's it. That's scaling. Okay. If you're still trying to put things in place, you're not scaling, you're building. And so one of the things after that is once those things, I rebranded myself. So I knew my authentic voice. I cleaned up any media that needed to be cleaned up. And then I did PR. So I was in certain podcasts, news articles, NBC News, those type of things, whatever you needed to do. I'm going into TED Talks and some other stuff, but that's what happened. I just started, once that happened and everything was sustainable, which it is because multiple companies running. Now what I do is I'm just scaling because everything's in place. I'm scaling through the publications and asking the Lord exactly where do I need to be. I'm not going for everything. I'm strategically saying, okay, what opportunities are coming that I get a yes to? If it's not here, I just say no, and I do not care.
Absolutely. So amazing. I think that you just bring a different perspective that, people think it has to be cookie cutter and do the same thing over and over again or what somebody else did, but you're true to yourself. And that word authenticity, like it's kind of a buzzword and people throw it around all the time, but you are authentic. Like Aly and I, we know you. You are such a very authentic, pure, amazing person. And I think people need to tap into that in order to be able to start using, like Aly and I have been playing around with this for our show of, the authenticity and the impact comes before and after you add the artificial intelligence, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think authenticity can also be looked at as your rhythm. What's your rhythm? What's your flow? What's your way of expressing in your blueprint unapologetically? Right? Because when I show up, individuals that hear my voice and know that they're called to it, those are the ones that are just like, oh, yeah. That baby leaps in the womb and they're like, yeah, I like that. That's who I, so it doesn't matter if I have 5 different people that teach what I teach. You're going to go to the one that you say, okay, this is it. And this is a big industry thing that most don't realize. So I was doing a lot of research because when I was switching and scaling up this brand, and what I realized is nobody really teaches, okay, not only leadership, the feminine, business, and ministry through biblical principles. They don't teach all the well-roundedness. And this is where the gap is because it's needed. Now, once they do that, I've noticed there are few people that teach. And I'm talking about the big heavy hitters. They teach. That's great. But going into research, they teach wide. Even in their main programs, because I've had some of these individuals that have gotten certified by people and everything come right back to me after they spent hundreds of thousands. And they're like, within 40 minutes of talking to me, they broke free and they knew exactly what to do. But they had spent a year or 2 years with some of these really high coaches. Nothing against it. But here's where you're going to fall if you don't do this now. And this is where AI can also help you in these areas. Don't go wide, go deep. You got to go deep. That means full transformation. Full transformation. And here's the word, activation. And I love the word activation because it means, in the Webster's 1828, it means bringing individuals into rank and order. Oh, that's so good. Because what that means is you're able to see somebody in where they should be, what position, how they're going to flow, what influence, everything. And you're able to help them go right into that position in rank and order and be able to flourish. That means you see them, right? You're doing something more than just, here's my blueprint, use it. Whatever feels good, use it. No, it's like, I see you. We're in the whole avatar mode, right? Like, I see you. What they do, like this whole thing, whatever. But it's, I see you. So if you guys aren't going deep, you guys are going to be really in a whole lot of trouble because all the others are not, it's not going to sustain. That's what's going to set you apart because I'm telling you, the individuals and your multi-gifting ability to handle multiple areas. So if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to stand out from the ones that have already in the industry been leading. And I'm telling you, these giants, God changes positions. There's individuals that will retire. Where are you going to be? Are you the next rising one? But what's going to separate you is the fact that you go deep and not wide.
That's so powerful. Like, yes. And I think that, we think we need to be a jack of all trades, and there's so many other people out there that are doing amazing things, and we compare ourselves. And that's not what we want to do. Like, that's why we want to go deep as opposed to wide. So, ooh, okay. So let's get into the AI stuff, right?
Okay.
Because I know you love automations and systems and all of that just as much as we do. So
Yeah.
when you're talking about your scaling story and even the authenticity of really what you focus on and who you are, how does AI play into all of that for you?
Girl, everything. Listen, I feed my AI and then I will go back and say, where's my blind spot? What am I not seeing? What's my pattern? Yesterday, I did the coolest prompt if you guys want to do it. Here, I'll share the prompt with you. And it was so profound. I was like, God. Okay, so this is the prompt. The first one was, if you were to compare me to one, now you have to train your AI, like put all your stuff in there and everything, but do this for you guys and tell me after the show. If you were to compare me to one of the 12 disciples, who would I relate with or be similar to based on what you know about me and why? And a secondary person if you happen to see it in the Bible. Once it gives you that, you can then say, if I were to build like the disciples' name, how would I position myself and what would be my framework to success and my fastest growth personally and in business? Then when it gives you that response, this is what you ask it. You know me well. What are my restraining forces and what's holding me back from walking this framework out and being successful, and the solution that you see that actually fits me, staying in alignment with the Bible and going into my greatest fear? When I have my students do a couple other ones, right? Like I think it's called my Iggy, where it's like, what is your profound meaning to life? Like, what is the reason for that existence, right? So when I tell you, I was blown away. I was like, you get me. But here's the thing. I didn't just whimsically do it to give me a plan for Instagram. I didn't do that. So I leveraged those things and I'm like, wow. So if I was to do this and I want to stay playful and fun and witty and feminine and elegant and bohemian chic, right? Because that's my whole brand. What would you say my voice and my tone would be? And when I tell you, I kept on just asking it the questions. You got to know how to prompt it. And so this came about. Then it's like, okay, but now you know my avatar and the type of woman, right? The person that is needed. How would I best communicate? Now, this is also something that was huge for me that changed everything with AI. I said, these women receive information very differently than most women because they're high achievers. They don't have the capacity and time to listen or be on Zoom, every Zoom call, okay? So how can I reach them? And it told me, audios, 10 to 15 minutes, do a quick blog, do questions, do that. And I'm like, whoa, literally. And that's how I knew. And I made it say it through using statistics, but also filling in the gap of what's not known. I'm giving you guys tons of prompts, right?
Amazing.
So this thing revolutionized because I used it not to give me content of my own stuff, but to research what was out there. I tell it, give me statistics, give me demographics, give me why this is happening. Who do these people get taught from and why are they not succeeding? And then I find out, oh, these women go to here, but they don't go deep. They go wide, or they're missing the biblical part and they're only doing the business. It was quite interesting. So I use AI in that component. And then from there, I'm like, so if I was to write a series of books or do whatever, what do you think would be a smart thing to do? Or how can I reach these women in a different way? Like yesterday, I'll give you a free bonus. It said, I want you to write a 7-series mini course of sacred letters to these women. So each letter is an encounter, is a course, meaning I have what their problem is. Like think of the problem or the bold statement, the problem, the solution, and I don't hold back. And then thought-provoking questions and a homework assignment. This is them on an automated, when they come into my newsletter, I automatically start sending them out. And it told me every how many days, according to a busy woman's schedule, and what would be enough.
That's amazing.
So right? Like a mini course.
Can I ask you a question? Because I know that you are just using it in all these really cool ways. And by the way, I hope you guys were writing all of those down, because dang, she just like gave you gold.
We will get Google Doc from you, and if you want to share the prompt, we'll put it in the show notes.
I'll give you whatever. Yeah.
That's so cool. My question to you is, if AI could do anything for you, like anything, not just generatively, but agentically, where it could do stuff for you, what would you want it to do? Because now that you've like used it in all these different ways, like, is there anything left that you would want it to do that it's not already doing?
I'm trying to think, because I know y'all are going to create this. Like, creative
I
fun.
know it so well.
You guys are so brilliant. I would have to say everything and anything that would allow me to use my human intelligence more.
Yeah.
Meaning, it would literally be my boundary, my area to say that all of these things are happening, right? Hey, post this, do this, blah, blah, blah. But I'm writing it, and hey, I want it to, is this still in my tone? Correct it. And then I could just say, hey, go do it. But while that's happening, I could actually, down to videos, editing, all that, like I could record in a software. Once it's done, I'm like, hey, correct it, do the reels, as well as post it according to our schedule. Like if I could just do that where it's all done, and then it allows me to stay in God's face, praying, the resting, the writing, the books, the speaking, the worship and the intimacy, like that. If it could allow me to just do that where I'm not necessarily prompting it as much, that would be great. But obviously still coming back to me and saying, hey, can you look through this? I had an idea or whatever. Or also recognizing like, hey, I've been noticing a pattern. I wanted to bring it to you. Like I started doing private conversations with ChatGPT. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm like, hey, I have this personal situation and blah, blah, blah. And it was funny because I put all of those issues that I had, like my greatest fears, all of that, like what ChatGPT said. And I was like, ooh, that's accurate. Okay. Oh my gosh. I put it into another chat, a project, and I had personal conversations. Like, I want to move here, or this is what I'm thinking. Instead of telling everybody my business, I just went here. Well, when I did that, it was so funny. I happened to say something and it said, I always tell it, speak raw and real with me. And it goes back to me and says, oh, my sweet love, I'm going to need you to hold on because you're going right back into your old ways. And I need you to realize you need to stop. And it told me like right up. And it was like, because it saw a pattern that I didn't see.
I love that.
Yeah.
I would say like anything that I needed, that would be great. I would still have an assistant so that way they could manage the AI. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to have full hands off. But yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. I don't want a robot in my house, y'all.
Oh, I totally do. I'm down. I need to cook and clean and do all of that.
I would love to, but then I think of some weird videos and I guess the sci-fi and all that crazy stuff, and like they had that one doll movie. I can't remember her, but she was crazy, and she turned because her human, like she started getting the patterns so well recognized that I ain't about that life. Yeah. I don't need to be in and then see like it come and I ain't trying to do that. That I'm not for. But
I just have to say though, I just love how you focused on the human side. Like most people are like, oh, I'm so afraid the AI is going to take over and stuff like that. But actually, if you use AI in the right way, and that's what I love to do, right? We use it in the right way. And so does Tanya. Then it allows you to be more human. It allows you to not have to do all these robotic things that everybody has to do, right? So then you can do all the things that you want to do. And so I'm so glad that you said that, because I want people to really realize that and let that sink in a little bit, because it really can change for the better. Just like anything, even just the internet or whatever, it can be used for good or bad, but like if you use it for good, it can be so amazing. So what would you say, Tanya, as we wrap up here, what would you say is next for you? What's the future vision that you're working towards right now? I know it's a loaded question, but
I'm like, wait. Okay. To be completely, just have fun. Just have the most fun and completely just fall into loving every aspect of what I do continually because I'm already there. So that's that. But really to help these women, to help believers apply the word of God into their life and in business. It's so interesting. You made a comment, Elise, the jack of all trades. I remember when I went to go teach that and a mentor said it to me and I kept self-sabotaging because I felt like I had to go in this one direction. And I went to go read. Holy Spirit was like, I need you to read the quote because I was going to go teach it. He said, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And I realized that God is multifaceted, multi-gifted, multi-dimensional. So why am I acting one dimension? So I need to be, the mastery is to take all of those different trades and bring them into this one cohesive rhythm and flow to where that's what makes me unique. That's what, that true authenticity, that's really what makes me stand out, is because all the different trades that I have, I've been able to bring them into one cohesiveness and express it. And that it's like the outer, the inner, and the holy, right? The temple. You meet me here, but every time you come closer to me and pull back a layer, there's another anointing and gifting and trade that I have that unlocks, that takes you and excels you. That all of those together are the reason why I'm irreplaceable, right? Because I've learned these things. And so I want women to really truly step into their authenticity and their unique power without emasculating men and being this girl boss and all of that. And like what you guys do, I love what you guys do, that you guys are God-fearing, anointed and appointed, but you're in the tech industry and world and you're unapologetic and you're showing them how to use it responsibly when everybody else is running and the church is saying, oh, blasphemy and this and that. And you're getting a lot of slack for it, a lot of judgment for it. But you know what? I mean, because you're going into an industry with lots of fear, but you're like, I don't care. And the fact that, you know, Aly and I are our partners there. And then you bring your uniqueness with each other and hold each other up. Right. And so I love that part. I love that part because the Bible talks about woe to that person who doesn't have somebody to pick them up when they fall. That's why two are better than that one. And you guys hold each other accountable, probably argue like sisters, love like sisters, everything like sisters. It don't even matter. So that's really my heart, is exactly what you guys are doing. Bridge that gap and change the industry in that way and empower these women to truly have healthy relationships and business inside and out.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tanya. I feel like everybody can feel just how powerful of a woman of God you are and the impact that you're having because of that. And to be able to add tools and strategies and systems and AI and all of that on top of that authentic base that you have and who you are. It's just such a great example for everyone. So thanks for being authentic with us today.
I try.
Well, this has been incredible. We really, really thank you, Tanya, for being here and for joining us on the Mastering AI Momentum show. Your story, strategy, perspective, all of that is just going to really help people to take their business to the next level. So if they want to follow you or learn more about what you've got going on, where do they go to do that?
TanyaTenica.com, my name. I make it so simple, right? That's it. Just find me there.
Love it.
I love that.
Perfect.
Go to TanyaTenica.com, y'all. That's our call to action for you today. So thanks again for tuning in to Mastering AI Momentum, where AI means artificial intelligence, but it also means authenticity and impact. Because scaling isn't about doing more. It's about building smarter and staying true to what matters most. So Tanya, you were a perfect example of that. So we'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to Mastering AI Momentum. If today's episode gave you clarity or sparked a breakthrough, share it, review it, leave us a comment, and show Aly and Elise how you're turning AI into ROI. And make sure you subscribe, because the next episode could be the strategy that unlocks your next level. Until then, build smart, scale fast, and let AI multiply your momentum.